Hey guys, it's me, Sergio Chris Ramos, and I'm here to give you my final insights on the Berklee Audition. So let me start with saying that I'm not in any way affiliated with Berklee, I just did my audition. Now, the way how the audition works is that there are 4 elements to it, which is number 1, you will play your prepared piece. You can prepare anything you want, but in my general opinion, I think it is way better if you play something that is a standard that shows off your ability well. Don't play a cover of a song that's all just going to be power chords or chords in general. Play something that shows off your ability. The second part of the audition process is that your audition proctor will ask you to jam with him. So in my case, the guy who was auditioning me asked me, alright, what do you want to jam to? Is there a certain song that you would like to jam to, or whatever? Off the top of my head, I just automatically thought, okay, 12-bar blues progression. It's easy, everyone knows it. And then when he asked me about the 12-bar blues progression, he asked me, would you like it in a B.B. King style, B.B. King, Eric Clapton style, or would you like it in a Pat Martino, Pat Metheny jazz style? So I went for the blues style because with the jazz style, there's a lot more to be expected. If you're going into jazz, you have to, or if you're going to be doing a jazz piece, you have to make sure that you know your stuff. So I chose the blues thing. I did whatever I could. One thing that I did though was that my audition piece was Larry Carlton's Room 335. And that song has a very well-known melody. It has a vamp type chord structure, which means that the chords just repeat and repeat and repeat, and you have to show what you can do with chords that are very, very simple. In my case, they weren't as simple as I originally thought, but just make sure you know what you're doing. Then you should be fine. One thing that I did though was that in my prepared piece during the solo, I did not use any tapping. But then during the jam, I started to do some tapping. And the guy asked me more about what I could do with tapping. So I showed him a tap lick that I knew off the top of my head. I showed him the typical Eddie Van Halen eruption tapping that everyone knows of. And he said, okay, that's good. And that brings us to the third section, the listening. Now, this one is very, very critical because he will test it, and he will also test your knowledge of music theory. So, what he did in my case was that he turned his back, and he said, okay, follow what I do. So, he pressed an A, done, and so I found what note, he's pretty lenient. I mean, so he turned around, and then he played an A, and I played an A back, and then he played what I recognized to be a fifth, so I just copied him, and then he played an A, a D, no, he played, I'm sorry, I got my notes mixed up. He played an A, an E, and then he played a G, because I could hear that it had this very mysterious quality to it if you were to play it. So I tried following him, and then it started to get a little more interesting after that. So just do it to the best of your ability. If you can't do it, he'll see that you can't do it, and he'll say, okay, we'll move on. Because he wants to see how far along you are. After that, what he did for me was that he started tapping his foot, and he said, okay, follow along to my rhythm. So it would be a simple rhythm but it would always be syncopated. So let's say that's a constant click. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just have to play horse with the guy. Basically just copy his stuff as much as you can. After that is the last section, which most guitarists, because I'm a guitarist, stress out over, which is the sight reading. Now most guitarists, especially rock guitarists or people like me who have taken classical lessons, but then we haven't really brushed up on reading music is the sight reading ability. Now, the thing about sight reading is that it's like math or music in general. If you don't practice it, you will become very, very rusty. Last time I did sight reading was for my AP Music Theory class, and that was over a year ago. So I was very, very rusty with it. What they did was before the audition, they gave me 15 minutes in a practice room, and they said, okay, we'll give you 15 minutes to warm up and for you to study those 4 pieces that we give you. I only got through 2 of them, but I was very thankful because the guy who was auditioning me only chose those 2. So I was very, very fortunate. I was very, very blessed that that happened. After that, he will ask you, okay, if I play this chord, what is that? Okay, that's a D minor. And he's like, okay, can you play a D minor in other positions? So I played in one. Okay, play me another position. Play me another position. Play me another position. And he'll just test that, and then he'll go, okay, what note is this? Ding! And then you just have to name what note it is on the fret. Basically, they're testing if you know your instrument well. But other than that, it's pretty much it. The audition process isn't as stressful as it is, but you have to be careful that because they make you feel very comfortable, you might not feel like the weight of importance is that great, which in reality it is. So what I'm trying to say is take these tips with you. Make sure you feel relaxed, but also understand the weight of importance that this has. Berklee does not, they don't even require an SAT. Everything relies on that one day when you do your audition and your interview. So you make sure that you make a good impression of that. I will release a video regarding tips for your interview, but I will release that after I receive my result because I'm afraid that it might nullify my result or acceptance into Berklee. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, that's it. I hope that these tips really help you. I hope that you take them and you do whatever you can with them. I wish you good fortune. God bless. Make sure to hit subscribe. I need subscribers. Follow me on Twitter at Chris5150 and like my Facebook fan page down below. Links are down below in the description. So God bless you and see you in Berklee.